was designed in North America and it takes aim at the mania that is the crossover segment. On this edition of Test Drive, the Volkswagen Atlas. In the simplest terms, the new Atlas takes the Tiguan basics, including an upsized version of its MBQ platform, and pumps everything up big time. It has been upsized to the point where it is now larger and has more seats than its more expensive Touareg sibling. It is an imposing piece that is both eye-catching and functional. Now this Atlas has got an awful lot of mix and match flexibility. Seats up, seats down, and all the rest of it. It also has a ton of space. With the third row upright, you've still got 583 litres. However, if you fold the whole lot down and you get a nice flat floor, you also end up with 2,741 litres of cargo space. That, by any measure, is big. While the starting point is Volkswagen's 235 horsepower 2-litre turbocharged 4, the smart money is going to opt for the 3.6-litre VR6 engine. It bumps the output to 276 horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque. This brings a stronger mid-range, but more importantly, it bumps the tow capacity from 909 kilograms for the 4 to a more realistic 2273 kilograms for the VR6. The caveat here is fuel economy. The brawny V6 can get pretty thirsty if it's pushed to the maximum on a regular basis. The cabin of this Atlas is very nicely finished off indeed, especially if you go with the exec line. Then you get the whole lot. All the desirable safety equipment, a great infotainment unit with navigation, and of course a Fender sound system. And lest I forget, 17 cup holders. Why? The power reaches the road through a slick 8-speed automatic transmission and Volkswagen's 4-motion all-wheel drive. The transmission is smooth on the way up and it's willing to drop a cog to pass a slower vehicle. If sharper response times and delayed upshifts are required, there is a sport mode and a manual gate. The 4-motion system sends the power to the front wheels under normal driving conditions, but it is quick to react to a traction loss. It can send up to 50% of the torque to the rear wheels. The system's drive characteristics can be tweaked through Drive Mode Select. Pick Sport when you're on-road and Off-road mode when you're playing in the dirt. The middle row of this Atlas has got an absolute ton of space, enough room for 3 adults, even if they're all over 6 feet. And getting into the third row, very simple indeed. Back here, there's not quite as much room. However, if it came to a choice of walking home in the rain and sitting back here, I'm staying dry. Remarkably, and in spite of its outward dimensions, the Atlas feels lighter on its 20-inch wheels than I expected. The suspension did a good job of dialing out unwanted body roll through the pylons, and it only began to understeer when liberties were taken. Hit the highway and the Atlas wafts along without jostling the riders over rougher sections of road. The only nit is the steering. In any mode other than sport, it is too light. This new Atlas pretty much spells the end for the Touareg, and it had some pretty big tyres to fill. Thankfully, the Atlas is more than up to the task. Yes, it could do with another 20 horsepower, but aside from that, there's very little to dislike.